Take me there.
What do you... My internet fucking sucks, man. I'm so sick of this shit.
What's going on with it?
It sucks, man. I don't know why it sucks, but it sucks. Our router is up here, right? Like it's on a... Yeah, I know. See?
What do you mean?
I don't even know.
Oh,
I don't understand.
Fuzziness.
Okay.
Well, okay. I've got some.
No. Yeah, walk me through it. Tell me how to fix it, please.
There's a couple of things you can do, but there's not much. So your service provider is who? Is it fiber optic? I would assume
it sucks so bad that I couldn't even hear. I couldn't even hear what you just said.
I asked if you who your internet service provider is.
It's either Comcast or Verizon, right?
Okay.
That doesn't really narrow it down.
Well, those are Shira has to use like Spectrum or something horrible, and like her upload speed is like 40.
I can't hear you. It's on my side.
Is it the jean jacket and the sunglasses? Frozen. Okay, so it's just the two of us again. I'm gonna break it down for you real quick and easy. Rich is having internet trouble.
There he is.
Good man. He doesn't deserve.
Jesus Christ.
He's back.
I have no idea. I don't understand why it doesn't work because I have. So it's like, okay, we're gonna have 3 floors. So we got to have. You have a router on the middle floor. That makes sense. That's where the jack is. So that's where the router goes. And then we have a mesh, a Google mesh in the basement, and we have one in the fucking second floor. And it doesn't matter. It's right outside my door, my office. Is the mesh router. It's like it did nothing.
Open your door and see if it makes a difference. If that's not going to interrupt your home life. Because
we'll see.
So I have a mesh too. The mesh routers are great, and the Google one I've heard
they don't do anything. Then I have it set up wrong. I have it set up wrong because it doesn't do anything.
Sometimes I will have to go into my settings and make sure that I've assigned devices to the proper node, so that it's not trying to get internet from a different one. Like the Linksys mesh is called Velop, and they call them nodes, right? So like the little towers. But if it's mesh, you shouldn't have. You're right. You shouldn't have this problem. Have you done like a speed test to see if it's a speed issue or if it's a signal issue?
Why don't we do one? Why don't we do one right now?
Do one live. I'll do one too. We can see who's.
Let's check. Yeah, that would be helpful. Actually, thank you. Well, the good news is there's only 22 devices connected to our Wi-Fi, so that's good. Yeah. Speed test. Okay. Tested it earlier today, but here, let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Testing download speed. It's happening.
Start speed check. I like the
upload speed
of this. Let's see. Oh, they're both well designed software.
They are. How about that? It's almost like they maybe checked and.
What does the ping speed mean? Like I've got 2 milliseconds ping. What does that mean?
I think that's the time from which it's if you were pressing a key. Yeah. That's 2 is really good. I mean, that's about as low as you can get.
Okay.
Not as good as 1, but better than 3.
There's some room for improvement.
I have results.
Okay.
853 mega, I assume that's mega Mbps, megabits per second, megabytes per second download. 853. That's plenty.
Great.
That's not the issue. 22 megabytes per second upload.
Yeah. Okay. So I've got 864 download and 134 upload, which is the lowest I've ever seen it. So are you having storms where you are?
It's raining.
Yeah. Same.
It is raining.
So that could be it, because usually those numbers are usually equal for me.
Really? So they're
Yeah.
800 each way usually.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I tried to help Shira with this, and like hers were like 600 download speed and like 11 upload speed. It was bad. She was
Tough to do a
working from home.
podcast with
To
11.
do anything, right? I like when it tells you though, at this speed you can, and at this speed you can stream multiple ultra HD movies and hold video conferences with multiple users simultaneously on different devices.
Across the globe,
Yeah, like
possibly the universe.
At this speed, you can do anything you want. You want to know something I was
Test
thinking about the
mesh.
other day?
Yeah.
The next generation is going to look at internet the same way we look at electricity. They will regard
it's just
the internet.
It's
a
assumed.
constant. Yeah. Can't function without it. It will always be there, and no matter where you go, it's there. It's part of life. It's crazy.
Part of life.
It
What's
really
with the are you wearing your Mike Tom glasses?
Yeah.
Your
These are the Ray-Ban. These are not the aviators. These are the caravans. And I have mixed feelings about the caravans. I don't know. What do you? I like a square aviator, but these have like a little too much shape around up here. You know, I want it to be straight across, and then I don't like this flare out down here. Your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, you're inside, so that's number one. They definitely aren't good for that room.
It's darker than I'd like it to be in here right now. It's hard to see. Can't see my phone unless I have the brightness turned all the way up. But hey, man, how can you wear a jean jacket without them?
Yeah, that's true.
I just got done working out and I was all sweaty and I didn't want to show like the pit stains on my sweat on my shirt. So I just threw this jean jacket over on top of it.
Is it yours or is that Allison's?
No, it's mine. This is I got this at the Levi's store. You can see it's got like a coffee stain on it. I bought this at the Levi's store. I believe it's from the early 70s. And they sold it as like a vintage jacket. It's very soft. I like it actually. I think it's a cool jacket. Good for this time of year.
Yeah.
And the coffee stain made me pay extra.
Well, that wasn't your coffee stain. That was
no. It came stained like this.
Perfect. Even better. You didn't have to stain it yourself. It's several.
No, I didn't. No, I mean really, it was like covered in stains. I didn't really. Levi's authorized vintage. So stupid.
Hey,
people
it's
pay
so
big money for vintage denim.
Apparently, I mean, I don't know.
Well,
you walked out of the store with it. Other than you,
I mean, this wasn't crazy. There's this guy on TikTok who he bought an abandoned silver mine in California, and his whole thing is like going through the old mine shafts looking for vintage denim. That was the reason he bought it, because he thought that there was money to be made.
Just in case. I'm going to buy a mine shaft just in case.
He bought like a whole town. It was crazy. Let's see.
I'm going to spend all the money just in case I can find something that I then have to work extra hard to get and sell to make that money back.
Vintage 70s Levi's 501 selvage red line jeans. 300. Oh my God, look at these.
Some of these
66. Oh my God. That's crazy.
I will get sucked.
Vintage denim.
I don't wear denim. So
that's right, you don't.
I know that there are some I will get fed Reddit threads from Levi's every once in a while, like posts, and I know that Redline is a thing, but I don't know why.
Is that what these are?
I don't know what that is. You said Redline. You're reading something.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. That probably just means the logo. Red line, right? Maybe.
I don't that logo's and that tab's in every pair of Levi's.
Is it always red?
Yep. Well, maybe not. I think I had a pair in high school that were not blue jeans. They were Levi's like green, and they had like maybe a green tag or a gray tag on.
Green jeans. Mr. Green Jeans.
Mr. Green Jeans.
$1,700. It is pretty cool. I mean, I bet they're like extremely comfortable and very well broken in. Salvage denim never goes out of style.
Better. I'm not breaking in a pair of $1,700 pants.
No.
I don't care what they're made out of.
Yeah,
I am not spending that time. You are paying for someone else's time to do that for you when you're paying $1,700.
I can't stomach buying clothes anymore. I used to spend so much money on clothes, and now like I can't stomach the I feel like everything got really expensive really quickly. It's kind of an illusion because we were all locked inside for a couple of years. We weren't going in person to stores. We weren't coming across merchandise that we would not have otherwise looked at. And you see something, you're like, oh, that's cool. And then it's like $300-400. And I don't know. I feel like I grew out of it overnight.
And the other thing there is, I think you get the older you get, the fewer cheap options you really have. The Gap doesn't really work anymore, right? No, it doesn't. You could go to the Gap, and when you're in your 20s, certainly in your 20s and your 30s, and buy something that looks half decent. But like you can't anymore.
You know what I've been going to for that is Uniqlo. You ever do Uniqlo?
I haven't. I've been in one of those stores maybe one time.
Yeah. So Uniqlo, I don't know how they do it, but they sell like cashmere sweater for $60, where everyone else sells it for $200. They have like those, if you like those thin merino wool crew necks, I love those for work because you can layer them, put a collared shirt under it, or just wear it. They're great. And they're like $40. I get my undershirts there. Good like basics. Basically the Gap, what I used to buy at the Gap. I don't know if it's the Gap or if it's us. I think the Gap lost its way, right? Like
I don't think so.
Like jeans, khakis. Is it still like that?
I think it's us. I don't know. I haven't been in one since before the pandemic. I used to buy stuff there, but at some point you got to just start shopping at more expensive stores and that have nicer clothes. And there's those stores that are out there, right? Like Faherty's like that. Yeah. But their stuff's expensive unless it's on sale. Expensive.
Yeah. On sale. We went up to the Hamptons last weekend because a friend of ours has a place up there, and we walked around Sag Harbor and there was a Faherty store. And I don't know, I think it was a pair of jeans or something that was right on the table when I walked in, and they were like $220. And I just immediately walked back out. Like, what? This jeans are not what you do, Faherty, and you're going to charge $200. Like, why? I don't know. I just don't get it. And up there too, like there was some really expensive stuff. It's just, I don't know. I can't imagine. I try to picture like the amount of money you need to have to drop like $2,300 on a sweater.
They didn't have a $2,300 sweater.
Yeah, like Faherty. A big cardigan. Not a Faherty, no, a different store.
Oh. Yeah. Even if you had that, like that's the thing. If I got that money, like I'm not spending.
Yeah.
You have to be born with that amount of money.
That's exactly what I mean. Like it's not just you can afford it. It's that you can afford something that you're really only going to use for a few years and then move on from. Like it's disposable.
And use for a few years. I mean, how many times do you actually wear clothes before you either don't want to wear them anymore, or they wear out? 10.
You get coffee on them. You can resell it for more.
That's it. Maybe that's that's it. Just stain all your clothes and then put them on eBay.
Yeah.
2018 vintage.
Man, I wish we would have kept some of our stuff from the 90s because that's all coming back into fashion now. What do you make of this? The return to baggy. Have you seen that's the trend?
Is that what's happening now?
Yeah, there's a guy in my office a guy who's about our age who, I've become friends with, and he was wearing this like really nice knit shirt, and I complimented him, and he said he got it at Abercrombie. And he said that there's some decent stuff there now, and the prices are actually pretty decent. I went on the website, but there's a few things. Everything else is super baggy. Like,
okay,
I think when we were in high school, like not to Jenko proportions yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
I'm not into it. I don't know. Again, I'm not I don't care what the trends are these days.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I've
also,
like paused.
Yeah, right. And
It's
that's
over.
that was my realization. Like, okay, this is how I'm going to dress for the rest of my life now. I'm done. I'm done adapting. No more adaptation.
Dude, I haven't bought a pair of ABC pants in 4 years. I've got all the ones I need to literally last me the rest of my life, however long that is. I'm not going to ever need. It could be 60 years or it could be 1 year. It doesn't matter. I'm good. I'm good on pants.
Same waist size. That's the only variable.
That's it. That's right. Well, and then you can do the whole trick where you unbutton the top button and just use the belt.
Yeah, I like that one.
I've heard that's what people might do. I've heard that.
Yeah.
I think we need to go through some of these things we had been texting about.
Yes.
Before we
got
forget.
A whole backlog. Do you have a pair of sunglasses around you can put on? I feel weird being the only person wearing them.
Yeah, I can. Can you hear that? Sound effects?
No.
Oh, I know why you can't. Never mind.
I heard
you can hear now. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. Where are the best ones? Oh, wait. I'll let you pick. These are the best. These are my favorite sunglasses. Or I'm gonna wear these tomorrow. I'm playing golf.
I don't read papers. I don't see tweet. I pay that stuff no mind. But for all y'all fans out there that says tumbling time's up, I need to be fired. I need to go somewhere. I told y'all, we just beat the Ravens soundly, completely, in all 3 phases of the game. As far as injury, Stone Cold retired. Bret Hart got screwed in that last match with Shawn Michaels. We're still waiting for some clarity on that. And we talking about on the game. Oh, that like what happened during the game? Didn't somebody have a concussion? That's why we took him out, right? Who had the concussion? I had the concussion. Okay.
Did he not? Is this like based on what his mostly
about winning?
Yes. It's always.
So did he have? Was there a question about who got injured and he didn't know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always better when you watch the actual press conference and then see his version because he just does like a parody version of it. I don't know. I get a kick out of that guy.
He's good, man. That guy in Pittsburgh, dad, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
They really are.
Like it's an untapped market for us that we could really get into. I don't know. We got to find the angle. I guess I could pass as
you got a Matt Canada. You got a Matt Canada look.
Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I mean, with the straw hat, right?
Yeah, I think you could maybe pull that off. That's something.
So, but what's funny about him? Like, is it the fact that everybody fucking hates him and is calling for his head and he just pretends like it's not happening? Is it that he doesn't get excited when the team scores a touchdown? Like, what's the joke? Like, what would be funny if Matt Canada... I'd have to look at some Matt Canada interviews to see how he's answering all of this doubt and then like find the humor in that.
I don't know, man. What do you think you would? Why don't we just create it from scratch?
So I'm kind of following the blueprint that this kid is doing
don't worry about that. We can always come back to that.
Okay, so what's funny about the situation and what I'm saying?
What if Matt?
Way to find that.
Yeah. Here's the angle. What if he had no idea? Like you were the idea, the premise is someone's telling Matt Canada that nobody likes him,
and he's like, "What are you talking about?
Today.
We just beat the Ravens."
Yeah, and now he's for the first time
Matt
what?
Yeah, like. He's going out into the city expecting the people to embrace him with open arms and pat him on the back and give him high fives. And instead they're burning an effigy of him in his front lawn.
It's like, what is going on here?
You're not wrong about the look, though.
I'm telling you, you got it. That's your Halloween costume. If you go back, anytime you go back to Pittsburgh for Halloween, you're going as Matt Canada.
If we can get those completions better, the runs better, all of it.
If you could find You gotta stop dyeing your beard for a little bit.
Obviously, I was working. We had a tough play. There's not 1 ounce of lack of confidence in the players that I have, or lack of confidence in the coaches I have. We're gonna play better. We're gonna get it right. We're not putting
Whatever.
on the field.
Get out of here. I don't want to actually hear him. I don't want to hear him.
Maybe it's that like he thinks it's the players, or like he thinks it's Kenny, or like he thinks everyone's mad at Kenny. No, I don't like that. Maybe like he's what's funny about this son of a bitch?
I think it's just if he was so naive that he had no idea, and he like went to a Penguins game and they were chanting "Fire Canada," and he was like, "Those Canadian wildfires are still going on."
Or like he only heard he thought they were just chanting his name, like in support of him.
Yeah, something other than the fact that people want him to get fired.
I think just an interview with him in general could be very funny.
Sure.
Right? Like the situation that he's in, this isn't just in Pittsburgh. This is national news at this point.
I told you that
football fans know that Matt Canada is on the chopping block.
How insane would that be if he had a gambling problem and it came out that he was betting the under? And I mean, it's pretty far-fetched, but it's not complete. It's not.
Yeah.
And he's in it with Tomlin. That's why Tomlin isn't firing him.
I mean,
the whole Steelers office is in on it. Front office.
It's not far-fetched at all, by the way. And I think that as soon as DraftKings became the official betting partner of the NFL, a countdown clock started, and it's about to come due on the first big gambling controversy. Like, how could it not? Not everybody on those sidelines makes millions of dollars a year. In fact, very few of them do. There's a lot of people there who are easy targets, right?
I love how the NFL has an official and gambling partner, but they're still suspending people for gambling on other sports.
They're suspending players for playing fantasy
basketball or something. Like they were betting on college football games. Yeah, you're out. Like they were doing that story on ESPN. They cut the commercial. The first commercial was like DraftKings, official betting part of the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know.
They all got a fucking employee discount. They all got an employee discount.
When we were kids and betting wasn't talked about, certainly not on ESPN or not on, like, the broadcasters weren't going to talk about betting.
Never.
Sometimes they would like wink about it. They'd be like, well, that field goal could matter to some in the audience. They would.
On Michaels, that was his thing. He would always do that.
Yeah. But there was like a 15-minute segment every Sunday morning at like 7 a.m. with Hank Greenberg, and he would make his picks. That was it. And I know that because my dad watched that religiously every week.
It was always on. It was never on at the bottom of the hour or the top of the hour. It was always on at like 7:25.
Yeah. Have I told you about? Thank you for calling the nation's #1 free scoreboard.
Okay. Yeah. We used to do that. I remember making that phone call with you, probably. Or maybe I was in the car with you and your dad. I remember Jim Celadonia, again, we've talked about this, playing an indoor soccer game, probably in 6th grade, maybe 7th grade, at South Point. And he had, so that was what, 1994?
If it was
93?
Wickley.
No. All right, well, whatever. I remember it being at South Point. Right, it's the Penguins. They had a hockey rink and then they had a soccer rink, and he had it was smaller than like my phone, but it was a thing that had a display that would show you the scores of the game. And I remember thinking like, oh, that's a cool toy, and it's like, no, he needs to know what that. It was like the first. It was like a beeper, but had a display, and he could like cycle through scores.
That's what Spike Lee slid down the table at me.
Did you ever have a beeper?
No.
Yeah.
Did you?
No.
I fucking wanted one though, badly. They seemed very cool. Like a
Who
lot of the
didn't?
kids that I went to summer camp with that lived in the city and like, the city of Pittsburgh, but the city, they were a little bit more urban and more mature. They all had beepers. Not all of them. Like the really cool ones had beepers, and I wanted one so fucking bad.
I can't imagine something I want less than these days than someone could
Is it this?
like summon you to call them back.
I mean, to be honest with you, I was very confused until adulthood as to what they even did. I didn't understand.
they were just-
My dad had one, right? He was like
sure.
religious, and it was all the belt clip, the whole thing. Did your dad have one too?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I can't remember.
my dad loved his, and he would be, someone paged me and I was like, because he had a car phone. I was like, well, why didn't they just call you? There
like,
was a
'cause-
very narrow window where beepers were actually useful.
For the general population, I get it. If you're like an emergency room doctor on call,
Totally, they still need
That's
them, and they
different.
still use them.
that's right.
Yeah,
But for the general
Really,
pop,
yeah.
you need them only when you are selling drugs.
Is
That's
this the thing that Jimmy Sal had?
I don't remember exactly what it looked like, but that's kind of what it was. It didn't have. I don't remember it flipping open. It was just like It didn't have a keyboard, from what I remember.
So what year was this? 7th grade,
I
you
don't
said?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe 8th grade, but probably earlier than that. It might have been a branded device.
Was it this?
I can't see it. It popped up in
It's
another
like a betting
window.
machine. Yeah. I would love to know what he was using. I love that stuff.
I just remember thinking like, oh, he was like showing us. He's like, no, well, they're losing. Like it was obviously during football season. It was indoor soccer, right? In the wintertime. He's like, they're losing.
Were you,
Somehow I remember do you remember when here's another story.
a Jimmy Sal story?
It might be.
I
We were
was about to say
all
the same thing you are. Go ahead.
we were in I was playing rec basketball.
Okay.
And do you remember that Bills game that playoff game where Frank Wright
The
brought him
comeback.
back? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who they played, but that was a day. It was a Saturday or Sunday morning, maybe noon game. And that happened while I was playing that game. And somehow everybody there knew about it.
Hmm.
And this is in 6th or 7th grade. No one had, maybe there was a cell phone
Yeah.
and
there
someone was
some,
calling to find the score.
My dad was checking the nation's #1 free score. But
Maybe it was your dad.
might have been. Those two
Played
were
on-
thick as thieves.
Playing it on speakerphone. Everyone's huddled around your dad with his car phone, and we're playing basketball. No one's watching. Yeah,
It's-
the
I
things
just
that
Googled
stick
the
out in your
nation's #1
memory
free score. I know. And
that
there-
there's something going on, but you don't quite know enough to know what.
I remember we were at Jimmy Sal's house. I want to say it was after a soccer or something. And there was a bunch of people there. You were probably there. And my dad was like a pretty good billiards pool player. And he knows how to do all these trick shots. He used to try to take me to Bowling City and teach me how to play pool. And I had the attention span of like a housefly, so I never could do it. And he would just get really angry at me. But he could do all this cool shit, right? So he set up this trick shot at Jimmy Sal's house. All the kids were running around. The parents were all getting together and drinking and doing whatever. And he set up this trick shot and told Jimmy Sal he could do it. And Jimmy Sal had a few drinks and he just started peeling off hundreds and throwing them down on the table. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. And then he did.
Your dad made it.
Yeah. And I was looking on like, this is a good example for all of us here. This is If it wasn't you calling for sports scores on the way here in the car, this definitely sealed it.
That's it.
Great parenting.
Hey, man, what else we're going to talk about on this podcast 30 years later?
Yeah, exactly.
Talk
All right, I
about
want to
things
go
that
back
were
to
funny.
your.
Yeah, let's go through these
so
texts.
I got one for you.
Okay.
All right. Did you watch that show, by the way, The House of Usher?
No.
The one I texted you about? It's really good. It's based on Edgar Allan Poe's short stories or poems or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Good for this
that
time.
sounds like something I don't want to watch.
Probably
I'm just
is.
gonna be honest with you. That
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like homework.
Oh no, it's not that bad.
I want to watch things where I
Still
can
TV
scroll
show.
with. I want to watch I want to have the big screen on while I look at the little screen. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's actually a thing. Like,
Okay.
I think I try to find immersive shows instead of just shows that I want to have on in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had 2 show ideas.
Oh, well, this was ideas to talk about. But before we get there, because I think that's going to be a longer one.
Okay.
I have another one here I want to talk about. First and third base umpires. How often?
Okay.
How often do you think that when a batter or the catcher appeals whether a swing was made or not, that the first and third base umpires are just like, oh, shit, I wasn't fucking paying attention. 80% of the time? 80? I mean, come on. There's no chance that they are there like every play, like,
But is that even the best vantage point?
I
Think about
guess.
Like, how are you going to tell within a micro fraction if the barrel of the bat came towards you? Like, it's a ridiculous.
I don't know. I get
thing
it.
to
I
ask
don't.
a person to do.
That's why they're always just like, I don't know. We're like, got him. They almost never call a strike. A swing. So like, man, I'm not making that call. I wasn't even watching.
Yeah, that would be very. I mean, again, that's something that they should just completely take out of the hands of the umpires. Like the second we brought instant replay into sports, which I think was a bad idea. I still like watching sports now fucking sucks with it because I don't care if the call was technically right. I care if it looked good enough in full speed. That should be enough.
Yeah, but they miss those calls and everyone else sees them in full speed and they're like, no, you got it wrong. They got to fix it.
Why?
Dude, there's too much money on the line at this point. You can't have
it's not going to change the outcome.
Are you kidding me?
In the long run. There's
There's
always going to be a team that
What's your
wins and
long
loses.
run?
What I'm saying is
Over a player's
Sure.
lifetime.
No, over the course of the game, they might
Dude,
get
what are you
one,
talking
they might
about?
miss one. Like, sure, if it happens in a big moment, it might impact that game, but it slows down the game and it ruins the viewing experience so much that I'd rather them get a few wrong. Which, by the way, they're pretty fucking good. They don't miss a ton of them.
I agree. But
Like,
they
it's
do.
impressive, and like that's good enough for me, is what I'm saying. I don't care if the toe was slightly on the white, that you got to zoom in at 100 times. If you have to do that, it was already such an impressive feat. Just move on.
You're
Let's
just
all move on to
you're
the
just
next
mad
one.
about Jesse James not getting that touchdown. That's
I saw
what this all
something about
comes
that
back
the
to.
other day. Actually, there's a guy on Twitter who has a Twitter account, and the name of his Twitter account is however many days it's been since that happened.
Since Jesse James caught that ball.
Yeah. Like that's the name of his Twitter handle. Like it's 643 days since Jesse James got robbed of that touchdown.
But that's, dude, if you were a Patriots
That
fan, you're like,
play
he didn't catch
was
it.
reviewed,
It got overturned. It was a
know.
touchdown.
but see, it all evens out in the end. There's no net gain. It's an illusion for dumb people.
What?
It's not necessary. Needs to be removed. Check
They
swings.
tried that. By the way, they tried that. There have been many iterations of instant replay in our lifetimes. The earliest I can remember watching the NFL, it was every play got instant replay reviewed from the booth, every play. And they had the same thing. They're like, this is taking forever. It sucks.
What, in the preseason they tried it or something?
Every game, every play. And
that.
they got rid of all of it. Remember? They stopped. They were like, we're not doing anything. No instant replay on any play.
I do remember that. Okay, so you're going all the way back to like the beginning of instant
80s.
replay, like when it was reasonable.
It was the 80s.
When it was doable to have like the officials set up like a stand to watch a replay on. Right. Okay.
No. That was it was before that even happened. There was no stand. They were just in they were in a booth. Yeah,
whatever,
they were just
same thing. As soon as they had the technology to capture it and then in real time be able to have someone review it. Yeah, I do remember that. I remember when they took it away, and I remember
the games got televised.
Whether or not, yeah, it should be involved. And what I'm saying is, I think they've improved it, right? Like the challenge system was dumb. If you're going to bring instant replay in, don't make it like, well, we're going to miss some, but if you use your challenge, then the one at the end of the game is just going to stand. Like that didn't make any sense.
Well, the one at the end of the game, so they solved that problem by making them all booth, right? So that they went back to initial instant replay rules for the last 2 minutes of that. Anyway, all right. So
now they review every scoring play, and I think they review every turnover too,
which I like.
Yeah,
you say you don't like that.
I'm saying
no.
Bring replay in. That's the way to do it. But I don't.
But you don't even want them to do that. You don't.
Yes, I don't want because it's not. I don't. It's not. We're not. Building a space shuttle. It doesn't need to be that precise. It's a sport. Let's just count the score and move on. To me, I think it's a better viewing. Do you like when they have to slow down the game and watch a replay 15 times?
I don't care that much. So
you think
it doesn't matter
to the enjoyment or the drama?
I think it does. I absolutely think it does.
I guess
now they got all these rules, and I like hearing the rules analysts. I like Dean Blandino.
I do hear Dean Blandino. Yeah. I do like me some Dean Blandino.
Yeah.
But overall, I could live without it.
Yeah. Look, I get that. That's such an old man argument, by the way. Instant replay ruins the flow of the game. So anyway.
They should have never
most plays were
the NFL. Keep it pure.
It's always funny when now that there's so much emphasis on instant replay and the way you can use it and who can challenge and when they can challenge and how many challenges, whatever plays that are automatically reviewed. It seems like every year or two there's a play that happens and they're like, we can't review this. Like how is that possible? How is it possible that you still have not come up with a way?
I think they've done away with
be able to review everything.
Yeah, or because it's that's like going back to the late Bill Cowher years, early Mike Tomlin years, where it was a fumble, but like fumbles aren't reviewable plays, right? Like they've done away.
Yeah, that wasn't it, but it was something like that, right? It was it was like, well, it was a it was you know what it is like you can't review a delay of game penalty. If there should have been one called, you think there should have been one called, but there wasn't. You can't review. Or
like 12 men on the field or something like
that. How is that possible? That's an easy. You can make that automatic.
Yeah, that's true.
Make the ball like super hot or something, and then put something in the ball and it heats it when the play clock runs out. Then no one wants to touch it, and then it's the end of the play. That's how you know. I'm just spitballing.
That's the most logical solution is to put a heating device in the ball. What is this what are the bumps in the road?
This is the history of instant replay in the NFL.
All right, so when did it come in?
Oh, we need to do our thing where we go up exits on 79 and look at this. Look at the shit.
That was good. 1906. They did a lot of. Wait, what?
86.
It says 86. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We're done with this. But anyway, I really think that I would bet that first and third base umpires are paying attention less than half the time when they get called on to determine whether a batter made a swing or not.
Yeah, I think that's a valid.
And that's funny to me,
I mean,
especially in the
how do
playoffs.
those guys stay focused with so much like standing around? How does your mind not wander?
It has to. That's what baseball is.
Yeah.
We've all watched baseball games from the outfield and watched how the players are just. I remember going to a Cubs game and Alfonso Soriano is after every pitch turned around to face the crowd. And it got to the point where I was with Doug, our friend Doug, and it was like, dude, you might want to turn around. They're like getting ready to pitch.
Sorry,
Like,
I'm
he's
40-40
set.
guy.
Yeah. That's what you can do when you're a 40-40 guy.
That's right. I think that the 40-40 club is the most prestigious group of. I think that's the coolest record, or I don't know.
Didn't someone do something this
Like,
year
in
that had
professional
never been
sports,
done
I think
before?
that's the coolest.
Didn't someone
in
do someone
baseball?
this? Yeah.
Was it Ronald
wasn't
Acuna or Suna?
Did he a 50-50?
He really? See,
Maybe.
wow, 50-50 is pretty impressive. I fucking love looking at baseball stats. I could do it all.
Something happened this year that had never happened before.
I know he was really hot at the beginning of the year. Let's see where he ended up. Standard batting, home runs, 41 home runs, stolen bases. He went, oh my God. He's in the 40-40 club. There's a new member. But he's also the first member of the 40-70 club.
Right. Okay.
41 home runs and 73 stolen bases.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'll tell you what baseball did this year. They hit a home run with these rules changes.
Yeah, they did. They did. Baseball's way better now. Like, way better. You know why, Rich? Because they made a decision by working backwards from the fan experience.
Yeah. That's right.
Sped the game up.
Totally agree.
But yet instant replay, you're in love with, and you can't stop talking about how much you're in love with it.
Fans want the plays in the end. First of all, NFL fans want the games to last forever. They don't ever want them to end. It's like the best. Like, if you're really a hardcore NFL fan, you want the game to last 7 hours. You don't care.
That's probably true. That's a good point. But it's too many. Like, even when I was at the Monday night game, I multiple times I kept thinking, like, these commercial breaks are too long and too frequent. It was too much. Like, we've gotten the nationally televised games it's too much. You add instant replays into that, and it's like there's nothing that happens. It's hard to, I don't know.
An instant replay is different than a commercial break. Fucking sucks always, no matter what it is. Nobody wants to see that. Instant replay is just further like in-depth analysis, which I like, because it is kind of and you talked about these like toe taps, but these guys, the way it seems like almost every NFL game, there's a play where a guy taps the last 4 inches of playing field before he goes out of bounds.
It's incredible.
That's insane to me. That happens all the time. That's really
it is
impressive.
Cool to like see it. It's like George Pickens is such a graceful athlete, right? To watch him in slow motion, and it is cool, like, to really break down how incredible what they just accomplished is. But you can do that without instant replay or without slowing the game down. There's plenty of time to show replays and do analysis. Just saying.
Okay. Moving on.
Don't shoot the messenger.
Let's see. I had an idea. It's talking about the fan experience. You know, it'd be funny if they ever figured out a way to do this for professional golf. The thing that sucks about golf is, like, you're waiting for people to tee off, right? There's like a 6-hour window of when everyone eventually starts their round. Maybe not that long, but it's a long time. What if I'd like to see a golf tournament played and then re-edited to where everybody hits a shot. They show everybody's opening tee shot, and then they show everybody's second shot, and then they show everybody's third shot, and then
I love this.
It's like it becomes a race to get to the finish first, right?
That's cool.
Wouldn't that be
I like
cool?
that a lot. That's like live. If they existed still, that would have been a live golf thing.
They
that
kind
is
of
cool.
well, at least with live, they all start at the same time, right? So everyone's playing
Right.
in the same 5-hour stretch.
How would you rank the television viewing experiences of the major sports? And I'm going to list the ones I mean: NFL, hockey, NHL, Major League Baseball, golf, and NBA basketball.
I don't watch a lot of these sports, right? Like I watch the NFL probably more than all of them combined. I hate watching golf. It's the worst. I think golf is easily the worst. Not only do they they just show these guys walking around and talking to their fucking caddy. Yeah. I don't want to see any of that. I just want to watch you hit golf shots.
I would like to hear them talking to their caddy. That would be fascinating.
I don't want to hear Paul Azinger. I don't want to hear Paul Azinger tell me something. I want to I want to see these guys hit golf shots. You have to build it up for 2 minutes before they do. Anyway, so and then
they haven't figured out a right way to capture it on camera.
The worst part is on Sunday afternoon, the leaders are making the turn and they cut to a 7-minute interview with the CEO of Rocket Mortgage in the fucking booth for some reason. Instead of showing guys playing golf, it becomes a commercial for Rocket Mortgage.
Yeah.
Even more so than it is the rest of the time. I don't want to. It's the worst. It is. It's the worst. And live improved it. It's hard to find. I like the fact that they have the scoreboard up there and it's like constantly updating, and they are just going boom, shot. If you ever turn on the Golf Channel in the morning, early and can catch the end of a European event, those guys, you never see them in the booth. You don't know what they look like. All you see is guys hitting shots over and over and over again. People you never heard of, which is fine. I don't care. I just want to watch people play golf.
Yeah.
The NFL does a really good job.
It's the worst viewing experience if you want to follow an event. It's the best viewing experience for having something on in the background and you have nothing to do on like a Sunday morning.
Yeah. It's great to take a nap
nice. Take a nap. Yeah. Like it's the best. It's the best for that, but it's the worst if you actually want to enjoy the sport. So you think NFL is the best?
Yeah. I mean, of all the ones that I watch, I don't watch a lot of hockey. I don't want to watch an NBA. I like listening to the NBA announcers. I think they're the good ones are really good.
NBA announcers are good, and it's just a game that translates you can see everything at all times. It's like my beef with football, and I've talked about this before. I don't understand why they can't zoom out. I think they're doing it intentionally. I think they want you to not know if the pass is going to be completed until the last second.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Like, why can't we watch the wide receivers running their routes?
Yeah.
And be like, oh shit, he should throw it to that guy. He's open. Because we watch a game, we have no idea if the quarterback played well or not. I mean, we have some idea if they threw touchdowns or interceptions, but like, did they miss throws? Could they have done better? It's such an interesting game. There's so much interesting stuff going on. You know, why can't we see it?
I agree with you. I mean, they'd show the quarterback getting pressured and then he lets go the ball and then maybe there's a receiver there, maybe there's not. Maybe there's a defender there, maybe there's not.
I've learned when watching football to I judge is this play is going to be successful based on the confidence level of the quarterback throwing the ball. You can just tell. Like, are they like, or are they like, oh yeah, fuck yeah, I'm going to throw it and step into this one, which is a shitty way to watch a very interesting sport. So I would say NBA is number one.
Okay.
Hockey's number two. Then baseball, then NFL, then golf. Whoa. Is that a comment?
It is the first one ever.
Hi, Shannon.
Shannon Strayer.
Thanks for watching. Thank you for your
I just
support.
wanted to see how you.
Shannon, can you rank your favorite viewing experiences for sports? That'd be great.
So it shows up here, and then you can add it to the stream so that everybody can see it, which is kind of cool.
Imagine if we actually had viewers, how cool this would be.
We have 3 right now. I think my mom and my sister are 2 of them. I don't know who the third one is. If you're the third person,
might be. She's watching too. Mrs. Strayer. Oh, that's funny. It might be the. We have a guest staying with us, and she was interested in the podcast. She said, "How many people watch it?" And I said, "Well, we've done about 40 or 50, and if you added up all the views together, it might be 100."
Yeah, it's not. That's not what it's about.
It's not what it's about.
It's not what it's
We're not
about.
here for the views.
We're
not here for you. We're here for us.
What was I gonna say? I just lost my train of thought. Anyway. Anyway, all right.
That's a runaway train that got lost years ago.
Next thing on the list.
Sitcom idea?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wedding?
You cannot guess what kind of state I was in when I thought of this. 90s sitcom. Guy gets court-ordered probation for something. I think, well, maybe this is where I need your help. I'm working backwards from a title that came about when I misspelled something in a text. And the show is about, the show's about a guy who is legally required to work as a wedding planner. And his name's Dave.
Okay.
And the show is titled Dave the Date. Like save the date.
That's brilliant. I love that. Dave the Date.
Isn't it great?
That's phenomenal. Yes.
Dave the Date.
Oh my God. Now, why would he be court ordered? I'm going to blow past that.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking maybe he had left. He
drove his car.
He didn't show up for his own wedding. So the guy's he's disillusioned with the idea of marriage. He just is.
The last guy that should be planning weddings.
Right. Last person you would go to plan your big day, Dave. But and he was gonna get married and he didn't. He ended up getting arrested instead, doing something maybe, completely unrelated. He left the bride at the altar. Mm-hmm. And we had a progressive judge who thought, let's see if we can shake it up a little bit.
One of those progressive judges.
Yeah. We're going to, instead of sending you to jail, you must plan 100 weddings.
I like this idea.
And the studio audience loves it. And the show's called Dave the Date.
I mean, the title is perfect. It is absolutely perfect. Dave the Date.
And it sounds, it's hard to visualize what I'm visualizing when you hear it, but the title graphic on the show will be in the form of a wedding invitation, right?
I like that.
Dave the Date. And it's like cursive, Dave the Date.
With like a wedding cake in the background and like the little figure on the top of the bride and the groom, it's just Dave, and he's like going like this.
Yeah.
Like, how did I get in this situation?
Planning weddings is not his thing.
Right. So how does he get clients?
Well, he has to plan weddings. Well, he's like a court appointed counsel. He's available to people to work for free. He's not getting hired. He has to do it's like community service.
Okay.
It's right. Community service.
He's the wedding equivalent of a public defender.
That's right.
Your brain.
I know.
Damn it.
I know.
This is great. Dave the Date.
Dave the
I
Date.
like this. And like, so are you picturing that he's like, what's his attitude towards his clients?
Annoyed. He's totally annoyed. But he doesn't want to go to jail.
Of course not.
So he has to help him.
Again,
And maybe he learns
doesn't
he
wanna go to
learns
jail
something
again.
along the way.
Right.
He learned something. He's got a kid, of course.
So what's
Middle school
the-
aged.
Give me the sitcom vibe that you think this most approximates. Is it like a Mr. Belvedere situation where the butler's with Bob Euchre and his family? And he's sort of, he sort of
Yeah.
looks down.
Bob
his
Euchre's
nose.
definitely in it.
Mr. Bell, like a Perfect Strangers type vibe where like things go wrong, but they get wrapped up by the end of the episode and there might be some snarkiness,
Yeah.
but it's everyone's having fun.
He's a cousin Larry. He is a cousin Larry, right? He's
Cousin
annoyed,
Larry.
but he's like he understands. He's got a job to do.
Yeah, there was a great many mildly annoyed sitcom heroes during that time. Belvedere, Larry, maybe
Every-
you could
every
throw in,
dad.
Danny Tanner. Yeah,
Danny Tanner. I told you the my intramural. I had an intramural team in college.
Officer Winslow.
Yeah, I had an intramural team in college for softball, and we just called our team name was Danny Tanner.
I like that.
Not Danny Tanner's Tough Guys, which would have been maybe that would have been better.
I
It was
think
just
I went
Danny
with
Tanner.
Eddie Winslow as the name of my fantasy team one year. Remember Eddie Winslow?
Yeah,
Cool guy. Real cool guy.
not as cool as Stefan or Kel. Anyway,
I was just gonna
So
say
I-
Stefan or Kel.
I think the reason that came up in my idea is so, and then I was like, well, obviously I'm not going to do that, right? It's a funny idea, Dave the Date.
It's a very
It's funny to
idea.
me, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Dave the Date, right? Like I'm not gonna like try to create an entire thing, but
Sure.
I think the one thing that is possible and doable and that we never really considered is that and this had with Roland Vaughn and all of that shit. They don't have to be like like skits like that. They can what if we thought about how to make a commercial for that show? You know what I mean? And it's like a 30-second thing. And then it's just a bunch of little snippets and it doesn't have to have any backstory. And then
Right.
that's how you
never
start
actually-
it.
You never actually get to the show. It's
Yeah, it's not the-
always
it's not the
promoting
show. Yeah.
Which is the
With like
show.
little, yeah,
Yeah, which parts of the show.
That's-
I love this.
that's
I
the
love it.
final product.
This
That's
week
the
on
final
Dave
product.
the Date,
Right.
Dave gets mixed up in planning a wedding for a gay couple. Dave plans his first same-sex wedding.
Yeah.
I don't know which side does you stand on when there's two guys. I never done this before.
Hey, which one of you is wearing the dress?
And the gay guys are
Dave,
like, oh, Dave.
Dave has so much to learn. So that's the show, right? Like that's the final. When I said final product, that's the final product.
Slave.
It's just that.
Because he's a slave. Dave the Date. Nah, it's perfect. I'm trying to think of another title. It's perfect.
You come up with your own ideas, and you can come up with the title. Stay away from mine. Dave the
I
Date is
can't-
my
I can't
idea.
name yours. Dave the Date it is. I understand. I wouldn't
Dave the
want someone
Date.
stepping on my genius idea either. Dude, that's brilliant. That's
Right?
another home run from the beautiful mind of Richard Dean.
So, and I was thinking the best way to we should seriously consider if our wives are okay with this. You come down here for a few days, long weekend. One weekend, you just come down here and Allison come too. But the purpose of you coming down here is so that we could just create a bunch of shit.
Dude, I'm in.
We'll film it. We'll film some stuff. We'll edit. We can edit some things. I want to do that video. I think the video game idea is fucking hilarious. And I think if we were sitting next to each other, it doesn't matter. Remember, I was saying that Sarah and I were playing games, and I was like, we should be filming this.
Yeah.
But you and I can do that. She didn't want to do that, so which I get. That's fine. But if we were sitting next to each other, the green screen behind us, and just had our heads floating while we were playing a video game. You all right?
Yeah, I was just turning the light on the camera because it's getting dark in here.
That's what we do. It sounds like it'll be fun. It will be fun, but it is a lot of like working. There's not going to be any like going out to dinner or any of that bullshit. Let's just create.
Out to dinner.
We'll have a camera rolling. We will have a camera rolling full time.
Oh, I like that. Now, do you own a camera?
No, I don't have a camera.
So that we might need to get a camera.
Well, we got a webcam. I mean, we just set it up,
Okay, that works. Do you
even when we're bullshitting? I heard something about this.
You think maybe I don't bring Allison to this then?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think it's because you don't want to have to.
Yeah.
It's a friends weekend, and maybe we do something whenever.
We could set them up with activities, an activity book.
Yeah.
We'll
figure that part out later. But I'm just saying I think that's a good idea.
It's a great idea. And I'm in for a 3-day weird out in the Dreamatorium. Always.
I heard Rick Rubin talking about he was working with AC/DC.
I love him.
On I like him, but the way you kind of got the real vibe when reading the Beastie Boys book about what he's all about. You know what I mean?
I don't remember.
Well, he was the guy who like kicked Kate out of the Beastie Boys to make License to Ill, and then they fought with Def Jam about getting paid for the fucking work they did, and they,
and
he's not a great guy. He's kind of ruthless. I respect that, but
I guess anyone who gets to that level is, right?
Anyway,
the reason I love him is because of his approach to creativity and how he's not a musician, but he's been responsible for some of the best music ever.
My point is, I saw him talking. It was a little snippet, and he said he was working with AC/DC when he was younger. They were in the studio, and AC/DC would sit around in the studio that they're paying for and do nothing but smoke cigarettes and drink and just shoot the shit.
Yeah.
And
it's necessary.
Eventually, like after a couple of hours, they would be ready to do something. And then they would full all out do it and then be done with it. And then they'd sit around for another 2 hours, catch their breath pretty much, and then move on to the next thing. It's like a bunch of sprints, right? As opposed to just like this slow burn where you got to constantly be working on something. I'm like, that is how I work, man. That is no matter whether it's something creative or if it's something for work, or if it's something for school, grad school. I'm doing my best work at the 11th hour.
I agree.
Doing it in sprints.
And not only that, but it requires a lot of what may seem like wasted time. Creating, you just got to spend time in it. You got to spend time in it, or else your mind goes elsewhere. We have other responsibilities and things to do. I think just spending time in it and seeing what happens is the best approach. I love that. And if we need to smoke cigarettes, we can.
Yeah. I think they still sell them somewhere.
They still sell them somewhere. We'll find them somewhere. What kind?
Figure out. I'll tell you what, man. I was a Parliament. I liked smoking Parliaments.
The recessed filter.
Campbell's a chick cigarette, isn't it?
I mean, Joe Camel. What's cooler than that? What's cooler than a
Marlboro Man? Is cooler than that. What do you mean it's cooler than that?
Yeah, Marlboro Man was cool. Yeah. Marlboro. Virginia Slims.
Yeah. Always had a pack of those at the ready.
a pack of Slims.
Hey, you got a Slim? Can I get a drag off that Slim?
All right, so what do you
Virginia
think?
Slim. I don't know. I didn't
Yeah,
even.
it's
I have
coming
not
up.
looked at the calendar.
Because this is a
It
good
sh-
winter activity.
I agree. Totally agree.
So maybe we thinking after the new year.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I gotta
Okay.
number one float this internally. That's number one.
Float that internally. I feel confident I could get approval.
I think it'll be fine. And
Yeah.
I think it's not going to, which Sarah's even mentioned before. I'm like, listen, man, sometimes you just want to hang out with your friends, right? Like, that's just it.
Yeah.
And if we're actually going to make stuff that's funny to us, then that's a lot better than
Now-
no, we're going to go to fucking some resort somewhere. Like, in the house
getting
somewhere,
the
no.
funding for the camera might be a different situation, a different conversation. I might have to sell off some stuff.
okay, sell your jean jacket. So I'll tell you what, can you flip that
This
jean jacket
conversation?
that already has stain? If you put a new stain on it, could you sell it for more?
Ooh, maybe.
Think about
That's
it.
a thought. That's a thought. Let's see. Levi's vintage jean jacket with extra stains. I mean, like
I got
there's
6
some-
minutes until I gotta go.
Okay.
I'm making
I'm gonna
dinner.
use
That's
all
how you
6
say.
of them to look at jean jackets.
Yeah,
Did you tell me what?
jean jacket search. Never mind.
I mean, there's
I don't want to distract you.
yeah, I mean, I think I've overpaid for this one. No, I mean, there's some there. I think this was like $125, which is
What
a
a deal.
pretty obscene price for a jean jacket. But I'm seeing them there's one like 234, 140, 242. There's one for 490. But these are like 90s. These are like terrible looking. I guess jean jackets always look weird and then you put them on and they're cool. Do you own a jean jacket? Have you ever owned a jean jacket?
I'm gonna give you one fucking guess to the answer to that question. Do I own a jean jacket?
Okay, yes, but you're ashamed of it. And you shouldn't be. Because I bet you looked great in it. Not even
Yeah.
when you were a kid, when,
Maybe.
Mom dressed you?
I think maybe.
because that was a pretty
But
big
it's
deal in the 80s.
Like looking looking boxy.
That's what's great about this is it's so supple. So
It looks like a shirt.
Sleeves up.
I get it. I mean, I'm not hating on it.
The full picture. Yeah, man.
It's not my style.
It's got buttons for the pockets so that your stuff doesn't come out if you're on a roller coaster.
Upside down.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to have those button
You know
pockets.
what I mean? Button them up. Everything's secure. My Virginia Slims won't fall out.
That's right.
Gotta have my Slims.
All right.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, let's call it here because I gotta.
I
I'm
feel
making
like
some
you're
dinner.
you're in like a creative. You're in like a good place creatively.
I am.
I'm getting ideas
I
a
am.
lot from you. And
I made that song. I
hope
sent
to-
you that song, and
Yeah,
I've
that song
been
was great.
writing.
You should
Thanks.
send me more of your music, man. I love your shit.
I will when it's done. The problem is, it's like I'm getting when and when I mean done, I mean like I'm not talking about like a song and like a full song structure, but like something that I think is a phrase that is finished. I'm not there yet.
I
but
get it. I
I'm
get it.
practicing. I'm practicing that. I will send more.
I've been really thinking a lot. I've made a decision to add a new hobby into my life, and I'm deciding what it is. And I've really been giving a lot of thought to the guitar.
Interesting.
There's so many reasons where I think it would be beneficial, and one
Here's
of
the
them
one thing-
is I would love to sit around and play guitar together.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be fun?
totally done.
Yeah.
Problem is, you can't get an acoustic guitar.
So I was doing research, and I saw a YouTube video where the guy said you have to get an acoustic guitar.
If you get an acoustic guitar, you will ruin your marriage.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that.
It's loud,
Yeah.
man. Those things
Yeah.
are loud. And
Yeah.
it's
And they're built
There's-
well.
well, they're built well. And here's, listening to someone who knows how to play an acoustic guitar when it's loud is one thing.
Right.
Listen to someone learn scales on an
Yeah.
acoustic guitar
Yeah, it's a good
from
point.
the next room. You can't. You literally can't do it. I mean, unless it's way too loud. An electric guitar doesn't make any noise when it's not plugged in. So you
Right.
plug it in and you put headphones in, and then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've got the little room here for it. I feel like sitting
it's
here in my
way
jean
cooler.
jacket, strumming away.
Free bird.
Yeah, free birding it up in my midlife crisis room.
Your midlife crisis room.
That's
Yeah.
what I am. People have a crisis room. I have a midlife crisis room.
Yeah, what do you think?
Oh,
think
dude,
this
I
is?
get it. Yours is way better than mine, and I'm jealous about it.
Mine is good.
The music equipment is the other option, or one of the other options. I hurt my knee. I got another injury, and like I can't make exercising my main hobby. My body's breaking down.
At some point, everyone comes to that realization.
Yeah,
Welcome to the club.
I can't play intramural basketball anymore. All right,
But it's
I know you
different
gotta
though.
run.
It's last thing, you got to figure out whether you want it to be creative or you want it to just be like procedural kind of thing. And that sounds weird, but like reading
I know
books
what you
is a
mean.
hobby, but
Right.
like creative hobby is a different type of work.
Yeah,
And
I-
so
I'm coming at it from the angle of something to challenge myself with, right? Like something that requires growth that I'm going to suck at the beginning,
Yeah.
and dedicate to getting better because I'm interested in it. So I think
You know,
that pretty much means creative.
part of that is no matter what you pick, there are 1,000 different YouTube creators who are all great, and you'll find someone you kind of connect with and then watch all of their videos and like learn it in a way that makes sense to you. And like, that's part of the fun, I think, is like
agree.
learning the shit.
I agree.
That's what I
mean,
watch.
That's
When
like
I'm-
all of the fun.
When I'm watching TV and I really want to pay attention to something, I'll put on YouTube on. It's like a tutorial on something I'm trying to figure out on one of my pieces of
Right.
equipment.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that's very cool.
I mean, yeah. Now that Zelda's finished, I've got a lot of extra hours in the day.
You play a new Super Mario Brothers, man. You see that? It came out today.
No, it did
Yeah.
for the Switch.
Yep. Super Mario
I'm gonna
Brothers
check it out right
Wonder.
now. What it's called? Super Mario Bros. Have you played it?
I was
You
watching
don't have
people
a
play it.
Switch?
I don't have a Switch. I've been watching people play it all day.
It looks cool.
It does. It looks really good. It looks like fun. I'm watching people who are really good at Super Mario Brothers, and they're having fun playing it.
Does it
'Cause
look
it's
like?
different.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
It's
I'll
a
check it out.
2D game.
I may have just solved the new hobby.
There you go. Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than buying a guitar. All right. Later,
Okay.
dude.
See ya.